99.9 KTDY, the best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today. And Sarah and Love Song 8, is it 816? Yeah, 816. We're running a little bit late today, Doc.
How's it going?
It's going. How are you today?
I'm doing good today.
You sound a little stopped up.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to sound normal today, but yeah, a little stopped up today, yeah.
Even the Doc sometimes gets a little down.
A little bit sometimes,
Little comes down with a little something. What are we talking about today for Wellness Wednesday, sir?
Well, I've talked on the show a few times before about vitamin D and how important it is, but there's some new research and some interesting facts that are out that I wanted to go through today, and I actually want to recant one of my previous statements on vitamin D. So
well, that's because you follow all the research so closely, and
yeah, there's some
new information comes out.
There's some new info out, and so vitamin D in its active form is, of course, vitamin D3, and I've mentioned on the show before, multiple times actually, that it was thought that you get vitamin D by going in the sun. Mm-hmm. And that your skin converts into vitamin D, and that's real good for you to get 10 minutes of sun.
That's what they've always said.
Yeah, that's what we've always heard. And so the problem with that, the new research shows that this is likely not happening. And so we see low vitamin D in people that spend a lot of time in the sun. So what gives? And I'm one of them. I during the summertime, spend some time outside, and my vitamin D was not on the high side at all. So it appears that in order for vitamin D to be made on your skin in the sun, it involves the oils that build up on your skin after you've been out in the sun for a while. You get kind of sweaty and oily after you've been out in the sun. Well, that oil being on your skin surface that's how the vitamin D is actually made, and it can take 24 to 48 hours after it gets oily on your skin to produce the vitamin D for your body. Now, what's the first thing we do when we go inside from being outside in the sweat and the shower?
Shower it off.
Yeah, you take a shower, exactly. And so that's why washing off these oils is stopping vitamin D production.
Wow. So maybe hundreds of years ago it worked. But
back in the day, yeah. Back in the hunter-gatherer days, it was actually a perfect way for our body to produce vitamin D. But now it's just not happening because we're too clean. And listen, I like my showers, So, yeah.
How many showers do you take a day, average?
2. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I take 2. Yeah. I can't sleep if I don't, and then I gotta.
What kind of soap do you use?
I use the Tom's organic chemical-free soap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I use Dr. Bonner's. Is that it? Dr. Bonner's?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so soap has
unscented.
There you go. Yeah, soap has a lot of stuff you don't really want in it. So triclosan and a few other things.
And if you take a bunch of showers a day, you can dry your skin out.
Right. Yeah. So by washing these oils off is preventing our bodies from producing the vitamin D that we thought going out in the sun would help. Mm-hmm. So you have to supplement. Many Americans are vitamin D deficient, and I'd be willing to even say that the majority of Americans are vitamin D deficient today. I would be willing to bet if you check 10 random people, the vast majority of them are going to be vitamin D deficient, and especially the new levels. According to traditional healthcare blood work, anything over 30 is normal. In my field, we want to have that closer to 60 in order to have your body function with all of the things that vitamin D does.
Yeah, normal doesn't necessarily mean optimal.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Optimal is more
your
like
buddies
60.
Ashley and Dr. Bond?
Yeah.
They have me taking 2, I don't know how many, how the strength, but 2 a day.
Yeah.
Vitamin D little supplements.
Yeah, got to get it up. I just switched to a really good one that's a liquid. It's just a drops. It has a higher absorption rate. I've been taking it for a while, but I don't think I was absorbing as much as I could.
What happens if you don't get enough vitamin D? What are the symptoms of not having enough?
So many things. Vitamin D actually acts more like a hormone in your body than it does a vitamin. Mm-hmm. It turns on your cells. It causes all kinds of benefits. Vitamin D is anti-inflammatory, which I've said many times on the show. Most chronic diseases like cancer and heart disease begin with systemic inflammation, and vitamin D reduces this. Vitamin D also binds your gut lining closer together, stopping leaky gut syndrome, which is an epidemic in America. Our digestive tracts are just in terrible shape. Vitamin D helps rebuild that. It prevents cancer and so much more. And vitamin D can actually control which part of your genes are turned on and off. So we used to think that this is called epigenetics. We used to think that our DNA was kind of set in stone. In other words, what genetic structure we had, that's just the way it is, and it's passed on and on.
Blame it on mommy and daddy.
Yeah, but our genes can actually turn on and be active or turn off and be inactive. And that's why we can get some of these autoimmune things later in life or get some chronic diseases later in life. Those genes may not have been turned on until they were exposed to either something bad or not given something good, and those genes start to what we call express themselves. And so vitamin D is critical for so many things in our body. It's very, very important that we have it. But that's some cutting-edge genetic research that's going on in a rapid pace right now in some of the research circles is epigenetics. Like, how do we get our good genes turned on, and how do we get our bad genes turned off?
How do we know if we're lacking vitamin D? Should we go get a test?
You could get a blood test to see, but there's actually a different blood marker ratio that I'll tell you about right after the break that's more important than just what is your vitamin D blood level. There's a ratio of storage to usable form that can tell us some really amazing things about what's going on inside your body that's more important, and that test is usually not done with just your traditional healthcare lab work, just your regular blood work. They usually don't check that. So I'll give you that information right after the break, and we'll talk a little bit more about how vital the vitamin D is in the body.